If you look forward to the Israel Adesanya vs Paulo Costa fight, then be sure to show this by smashing the like button. Thank you for joining me, and welcome back to KKTV. In today's ultimate breakdown video, we will be going over the Israel Adesanya vs Paulo Costa fight, in which we will be going over the tale of the tape, my own personal fighter cards, a full breakdown of the fights, and then at the end, I will tell you guys who I think will win come fight night. Now with that being said, be sure to drop a like on this video, and let's get right into it. Across a combined 32 professional fights, Paulo Costa and Israel Adesanya only found victory. Until UFC 253, somebody's O has got to go. Well, before we do, let's take a closer look at the statistics. The challenger, Paulo Costa, is 4 inches shorter than the current middleweight champion Israel Adesanya, who stands in at 6 foot 4 inches tall. Adesanya will also have an 8-inch reach advantage over his opponent. In this matchup, clearly the rangier fighter is Israel Adesanya. However though, the heavier fighter without a question will be Paulo Costa, who generally weighs around 210 pounds to 220 come fight night. With Israel having the range and Paulo having the size, let's take a closer look at their skills and move over to my personal custom fighter cards. The challenger, Paulo Costa, has an overall rating of 91, with 92 striking, 85 grappling, 88 stamina, 93 chin, 88 defense, and a 97 physicality attribute. Costa's main attributes come down to his striking, chin, and physicality, which really means one thing: he's able to pressure his opponents around, take their shots, and give them right back. Switching over to his opponent Israel Adesanya, he also has an overall rating of 91, but with 96 striking, 82 grappling, 95 stamina, 89 chin, 94 defense, and an 88 physicality attribute. Adesanya's standout attributes are clearly the striking and stamina. With additionally his great defense, Adesanya is a very hard fighter to locate and connect on. In this fight, we have Paulo Costa, who is a very strong come-forward fighter and a defensive wizard in Israel Adesanya. Both styles will complement each other come fight night, so let's talk about that during the breakdown of this video. During the fight, I believe the most important aspect for Paulo Costa will be have that initial first success. Going into a fight against Israel Adesanya, he has always been able to control his opponents with utilizing a lot of feints, mobility, and just extending that long reach, which is a big barrier for a lot of these guys to just penetrate through and get in range to hit him with. But now comparing those opponents with Paulo Costa, you will see that none of them fight the way that Paulo fights. A lot of these fighters are just similar to Israel Adesanya. They like to get their range down, feel out the opponent, and then kind of slowly get into the fight. However, Paulo Costa is a lot more straightforward. As soon as the bell rings, he will ring your bell. It's pretty much how it goes. So he will immediately come after you, but he won't necessarily just throw everything that he has immediately out of the gate. The most important part for him is to be in a manner of chasing you, cutting off the ring, that will make you throw back and make you feel like you're already having to fight his fight. And that's the most important part in this fight. Whichever fighter can make the opponent fight their fight will be winning the fight immediately, because like I said, both of their styles complement each other, so whoever can get the control will have the opponent complementing their style and thus be losing the exchanges. And so early on in the fight, it is pretty hard for me to envision Paulo Costa not trying to do that, and it is pretty hard for me to see Israel Adesanya immediately getting his respect from Costa. And so we will see Costa coming after Israel and Israel being on defense mode and moving around. And with this movement around the octagon, I highly doubt that Israel Adesanya will be able to generate a lot of power with which he can stun Paulo Costa, knock down Paulo Costa, or just earn his respect. And so I believe that immediately Paulo Costa will be putting Adesanya on the back foot and moving around. And in that range where Paulo Costa is chasing after Israel Adesanya, he will most definitely not be in range to throw and connect with his hands. So he will have to rely on his kicks, which are very strong. You know, Paulo Costa has about twice the size the legs of Israel Adesanya, so whenever he connects with a leg kick, body kick, or a hand kick, Israel Adesanya will feel them. And immediately after those leg kicks, body kicks, whatever it may be, he will probably slip in a right hand, close the range, and then finally have a fighter like Israel Adesanya virtually pinned up against the fence. And from there, Paulo Costa can do his work. go to the body and dig down low. And in this fight, that is precisely what he has to do. Go to the body and dig down low. Take out the air out of Israel Adesanya, because this is a 5-round fight in which Adesanya is just a lot more experienced than Paulo Costa. The misconception with Paulo Costa, however, is the notion that he can connect with one big right hand and just drop Adesanya. Even though he's a very powerful fighter, I don't think he just loads on one big shot at a time. He throws his punches in bunches, piles up the damage on his opponents, mainly to the body, and then everything else just follows. So the saying that goes chop down to the body and the head will follow will pretty much be the main storyline to Costa's success in this fight. Now, with that being said, this, however, will be most of the time in spurts, whereas Paulo Costa has to first initially get in range, connect with a jab or a leg kick or a body kick, whatever it may be, push Adesanya back to the cage, dig down low to the body, and then have him there to be hit will only come in spurts. It is not going to be a consistent way of him finding Adesanya and hitting Adesanya, because Israel is so rangy and so smooth and so quick on his feet that he will at some point just keep on getting out of that range and not be consistently trapped by Costa. And so we will have Costa trying to close that range over and over again. And in those moments where Israel Adesanya is getting more and more of a feel of Paulo Costa, that is when you will see Adesanya open up, warm up to Costa, land a lot of his shots, start feinting, start connecting with knees to the body, head kicks, question mark kicks, keep Paulo Costa at a distance and keep on moving. The most important part with Israel Adesanya in this fight will be able to just come strong later in the fight. Initially, he will just have to accept that this guy is just at 100%, he's very strong, and he's just coming here to take me out. That is just the reality that Israel Adesanya is going to accept, and with that reality will come a lot of patience. Patience that I don't think Paulo Costa is going to be having come fight night. I could be mistaken, however. Paulo Costa may be able to hit him with a lot of one big power shots at a time, slow him down, go to the body, and kind of fight a fight that Justin Gaethje fought against Tony Ferguson. If he's able to take away the legs, Israel Adesanya is in a load of trouble. But if he doesn't, most of his work will just end up being done in bursts. And in a 5-round fight, you better hope you have great bursts against a fighter like Adesanya, otherwise he's going to be winning the moments where you're not bursting. And that is really the thing with Paulo Costa, right? He is a come forward fighter, he will keep throwing, he will keep coming at you, but that is really when you're not fighting back in a manner in which he is just walking in. If Israel Adesanya is able to keep on consistently jabbing and moving and moving and moving, then Paulo Costa is virtually looking for his opening to fight in quote-unquote bursts, where he can come forward, hit you to the body, legs, head, body, just everything in between. That is the bursts that will kind of encapsulate Costa's output. By no means is he like a big explosive fighter like Yoel Romero who just throws one big shot at a time. He is a lot more active with what he does when he can, and that's just the big if. When? Come fight night, we will know that. But aside from that, Israel Adesanya, if he doesn't get hurt to the body or to the head or dropped knocked out in the first couple of rounds, he will then be able to start going to the body himself, land great amounts of kicks to the body, knees to the body, and just take away the stamina of Paulo Costa. And from there, he will slowly open up with his right hand, step into his shots, sit on his punches, sit on his kicks, and by the 4th round, halfway through, I believe that Paulo Costa could be seeing a lot of fatigue. And definitely, as much as Paulo Costa has his chances of knocking out Israel Adesanya early on, Israel Adesanya has the same chances of stopping him later on in the fight. So it is a very competitive fight that I can't wait to see. But who do I think will win come fight night? Let us now move over to my own personal prediction. Come fight night, I will have to go with the more experienced Israel Adesanya to retain his title. Even though he's fighting the most difficult offensive and strong fighter that he has, I believe that at some point he's going to be able to overcome it. I do believe, however, that in the first couple of rounds, if Paulo Costa is able to put it on him, that he's going to be able to clip him and drop him and finish him. That is a big reality. But I believe that with his 4 inches in height and 8 inches in reach, he is not the easiest fighter to get in on. And with that, and his footwork and his defensive wizardry, I think that for the most part, Israel Adesanya will have to deal with Costa in bursts and his output in bursts. So aside from those bursts, I think the more consistent work, the more effective work, and the more controlling work will be done by Adesanya, like he has done to most of his opponents by being able to just outzone them and just hit him from the outside. And if he is able to do that, I think Paulo can gas out, and I think Israel can finish him with a body shot and retain his world title. It will be a very competitive fight. I can't wait to see it. But leave in the comment section down below who you think will win come fight night, because in the end, only time will tell what will truly happen. For now, I've been Keenan from KKTV, signing off. Later.